this is this is this is the end, bro. Like this is where the big this is where this is where the big bank capitalism is gonna is gonna have a is gonna have its peak. Like it's here. Like probably like the next 30, 40 years. There's gonna be, I mean, think about it, bro. Like there's like when you think about, there's a lot of rich people. Is what I'm saying. There's a lot of rich people. There's a lot of money everywhere, man. I was I was going to this clubhouse to go work today at this you know it's a it's a retirement community in Jupiter, Florida. But what you don't understand about Jupiter, Florida, like Jupiter, Florida is where Michael Jordan lives, and and like Tiger Woods. That's where like Tiger Woods' office is and shit. And these and like I went across the street, and this one, like, I was going to this place called Admiral's Cove, and Admiral's Cove, I went to the wrong one. I went to the golf village, and the golf village had like the 4,000 square foot homes. And then when I went to the actual Admiral's Cove, like, it just had like legit mansions, just and this is where people are going to retire, you know what I mean? What's up, Eddie P? Adrenaline says, I think the government wants us all to rent and not own. The gap between rich and poor is getting bigger, and it's harder for the middle class. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it benefits the government for all of us. I don't think the government cares if we rent or own. You're thinking about the wrong powerful people. It's not the government. It's like people like BlackRock, people like BlackRock and shit like that want to own all of the land, so they can rent it to us. They want to make more money. The corporations want to make more money than the government. The government doesn't care who owns it. They're gonna charge the taxes. The gap is getting wider. It's the 1% who wants everything. Nothing. Yes. Damn, this damn near was what my sociology class was about today. What'd you learn in your sociology class? I mean, this is. I mean, bro, this is what's on everybody's minds, right? Like everyone, it don't matter who you are, what type of information you like to look at. Like everybody's trying to figure this out. They're like, yo, what's happening? And computers has given us a lot of anxiety, and a lot of people are, you know, um, just having a hard time with that. I see it. It affects a lot of people in some very sad ways. And bro, like what's happening now is that we're seeing it in real time. We're seeing the gap break. You know what I mean? Like what happened with the fucking Mexican beer virus and like how they handled it. The people, like those corporations, they took advantage of it. They bought up a bunch of real estate trying to rent out houses. They vertically integrated a few different systems. They fucking took crypto and gave it a pow pow. Like they made moves. They got shit in order. And there was some people who were able to go along for the ride and shit like that. And now we're just watching the small steps as this society goes through like a soft reorganization, because of what's happening with the different countries. There's uh, like countries' demographics are in shambles, and that's why you have like these conflicts, and everybody's trying to reposture. Money Mike says, "Wow, this is a real bad time to get into cocaine and BBLs. This is actually the perfect time for that." I just recently found out it was the nobles who created capitalism to back down the kings. It was never for everybody. Nah, it was definitely never for everybody. It's the same way. It was the same way crypto was never for everybody. But there was a time when everybody could put their hands on it. Not everybody in America for sure. But there was a time where, seemingly, depending how you look at it, where is the reason why people love it is because because it seemed like we could all do it, and that felt good. My sociology class, we were talking about social stratification. A big part is the gap between the rich and poor is getting bigger because we don't have access to scarce resources that can move us up the social ladder. What's the scarce resource that can move us up the social ladder? We are poor because we don't produce anything anymore, and BRICS is more of a threat to the petrodollars with the Saudis on board now. BRICS is not a threat to the petrodollar at all. Nothing is a threat to the petrodollar. The reason why nothing is a threat to the petrodollar because there's no currency that has the amount of volume to replace what the petrodollar is. Like they literally don't. Like the reason why the petrodollar is what it is because like people cry when we print money, right? Fucking conspiracy theorists that they don't know anything about the economy at all, but they just know that printing money is bad, right? Because they watched a fucking video in 2008 that had a bad techno song and they were like fiat currency. You know what I mean? They watch fucking Zeitgeist and now they know about banking. But we've printed so much money, more money than anybody, that in order to replace the amount of money that we've printed, you would have to actually tank your economy to compete and replace it. Like these people are not stupid, bro. They didn't just set this shit up like this to be able to give it over to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? The United States didn't print all of this money to spend more than every country in the world on the military to let a fucking handshake with the Saudi Arabians fuck up anything, bro. What's the hip hop song of the day? More money? No, I don't. I'm not answering anything. I'm just explaining to you the reason why the petrodollar is what the petrodollar is. You know what I mean? Like you have to like when you're looking at the fucking economic stuff, you have to like it's like a compressor, bro. You have to know what the ratio does. You have to know what the threshold is. So you have to go and you have to look at like why is the petrodollar what it is? You know what I mean? How does this thing run the world? How come nobody can overtop it? Because if it was like, bro, just use your common sense, dog. Not every country likes the US. There's powerful countries that don't like the US. So why don't they turn it over? You know what I mean? Why don't they, like, why doesn't China call in all their debts? You know, the US would be fucked. You know what I mean? How come BRICS doesn't get together and buy audio from the Saudi Arabians? It'd be fucked, right? No, because that's just shit that fucking conspiracy people put on their channel to have fucking something to talk about. It's the same shit as, do you guys game? Like Call of Duty, you can put attachments on your gun. And what Call of Duty YouTubers do is they come up with different attachment lists to put on your gun, and they're like, "Oh my god, you gotta fucking try out the M4 Cheeser Mareezer. It really fries, you know." And every week these motherfuckers have like a different set of attachments that you gotta put on out on your gun, you know, because this is what's gonna fuck, you know, the same way with like these economic conspiracy people do. They fucking predict crashes. All these dudes have predicted the last, like, you know, they predicted 19 of the last 2 crashes. And we love watching that stuff because we don't really know about the, you know, the like the complicated. No, Michael Burry is hold on. Michael Burry's a different animal, bro. But here's the thing. But here's the thing about Michael Burry, right? Because people do this. You get one and it's big. You got it, Mike. You caught it. Michael Burry, listen, Michael Burry fucking was super right about what was going on in the housing market in the late 2000s. But you just got to be careful, you know what I mean? Because they don't get them all right. You know what I'm saying? They don't get them all right. That's all. Because the one thing that you really got to remember. Yeah, Michael Burry's the one from The Big Short. He came back to Twitter. He's on there. I don't know about y'all governor. He's trash. Well, I mean, you know, fucking what politician is what politician is awesome, you know? Politicians suck in general. The biggest scarce resource is higher education, like college. The cost has risen substantially. Oh, you're in college, yo, so they're fucking your mind up. Oh, okay, yeah. Listen, the biggest scarce resource is not higher education, right? The higher education, it doesn't equate to a good job or you fucking moving up in the social stratosphere. But that's I could understand why they framed it like that. But what comes from college? I think yeah, bro. No, they gonna fuck you up, John. They gonna have you gonna come out of college. Listen, I'll tell you like this. The most important thing in a modern society is a hardworking man, right? Like like all of the greatest shit that has happened up until this point has come from hard working men. Like hard working physical creation of shit, you know, people using tools, right? People using tools, creating machines, improving on the tools, improving on the machines, improving on the processes, creating efficiency, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that they teach in university now is that like you know, going to university is the most important thing, and you know, and being a part of these talking jobs, but them jobs that you guys get when you come out of university, like they're all going away. That shit is getting that shit is going to get replaced by Chat GPT or the good version of Chat GPT, you know? Mr. Watt, you go to college to get a network? No, you go to college to get an $80,000 debt. that you can't pay off, and then you cry to the government to come pay for it. That's what you go to college for. It's like, yo, I'm gonna pay $80,000 to get a networking job. I'm gonna pay $80,000 to learn how to be a chef. I'm gonna pay $80,000 to be a graphic designer. Like they fucked college up. It's not what it used to be in the '60s. I know that like I know that like a lot of us people, they either got like parents who never went, or parents that did go, or you're gonna be the first in the family and all that shit. But it's a big ticket. It's a big ticket. And they're gonna and all of those jobs, especially like the entry level ones that were like intern, and you guys see. Seeing the latest episode of South Park, it's exactly this: the hard worker versus the most of the people who entered the workforce versus the pandemic. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's what's in the zeitgeist right now. Because because what's about to happen is crazy, bro. Like, have you guys seen the layoffs that the tech is doing right now? Amazon, Google, You're like I think it was something like we keep on adding jobs, but like 10,000 people just left the workforce, and you couldn't believe it. Yeah, I know, because college is fucking you up. It's making you think you're fucking getting a lot of value. It's making you think you get a lot of value. You gonna step out that shit with a bunch of debt and no skills. Facebook went and posted everything in London for double their salary the last 2 years, and then fired half of them. Bro, it's crazy, bro. They whiffed on the metaverse. You're going for free though. That's what's up. If you're going for free, fucking get that shit. Just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to with your network. Remember? The larger your professional network, the more possibilities of yeah, no, definitely. Nah, bro. Like this, you get a good sense of that alumni nepotism and shit like that for sure, bro. Connections outweigh skill. Listen, when I transitioned from like working in the field and going into going into an office environment, it's it's only halfway true that connections are better than skill. Because what happens is connections get you in the door somewhere, but you get exposed fast. You get exposed fast. Like you can you can have a network. You can have a net like okay, so you can have a network of friends, right? And say you get into some job, and you're like, yeah, I'll be the project manager, blah blah blah. I can use Excel, fucking, just show me, right? And if you don't deliver on those first three projects, guess what? That connection that you had, you just made him look like an asshole because you don't have any fucking skills. So guess what? Now you don't have that connection. And on top of that, everybody that he's connected with, they're like, nah, bro, this fucking guy's a goof, dude. He didn't have any skills. He thought just knowing me was gonna be enough, and he couldn't produce. I think because of the way the job market is, people really like overemphasize like getting your foot in the door. But the most important thing is the follow through. You'll see, John. You'll see for yourself. It's a it's a fun world out here. I'll tell you that much. Elon fired everyone on day 2 of only Twitter, and Jack was like, "Oh yeah, we might have over." Listen, Twitter was a shit show, bro. But TikTok going by, yo, the amount of people caping for TikTok makes me sad, bro. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, like, why do you care if an app goes off your phone? You know what I mean? Like, why do you care if an app goes off your phone? TikTok is valuable in the indie space. Yo, I didn't see any indie artists that were mad about it. I seen like moms and getting kids and shit. Fucking see no, I didn't see any. I didn't see any indie people. I seen like fucking hoes that go to the beach and put mango in the water and eat it. TikTok doesn't support artists like that anyway. I'm a little in the know, and they signed up their artists that really want their distribution company, so they moved away from that. Yeah, bro. The only thing interesting about TikTok is once again is seeing Congress does not know anything about it, bro. Congress is embarrassing, dude. Congress is terrible. Especially like the new Congress people who are just like dumb. Like the fucking all the Trump Congress people, all the election and stolen Congress people. Jesus. It still had the most organic reach of any platform. Yeah, I mean, the thing about the thing about these platforms is by the time it, because I've seen a bunch of them, and like you'll see too, because bro, TikTok's not gonna last forever. But you like there's like one hot year with all these things. There's one hot year for MySpace. There was one hot year for, well, no, Facebook changed the game with the ads. You know what I mean? But there's like this one like peak year where somebody breaks out, they have great success, and then the rest of the life of that app is people lying to themselves, thinking that they could do the same thing, and everybody trying to and not doing it. I wish I was on there back when I first found it. You see, 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 see. It sucks, man. It sucks. Listen, it sucks being creative. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much, man, because it's like, you know what sucks about being creative is that there isn't like a reasonable path for us. You know what I mean? There is, but it's not sexy. You know what I mean? We want to swing for the fences and share our art with everybody, and just connect with people and share what we love, right? That's what we want to do. But there's no just like, hey man, I'm really creative. I could create all day. I want to create all day. Like there's like, what's the opportunity for that, you know? Because what comes with you being a creative person is the, you know, narcissistic ego where where you have the audacity to think that we want to fucking listen to your music. We don't care. We don't care about the music that you made, but you know, but you swear that we do. So, you know, God forbid you go get a reasonable job in the creative field. No, it's got to be all about your fuck ass, bro. You know, God forbid you go slam some sinks, you know. He hit me with the fax Kellerman. All right. You know how crazy it was to try to convince people to fucking make sample packs, and then they only started doing it once they realized that's how other producers were getting placements. Then everybody was wanted to make a sample pack, but nobody wanted to make a sample pack before they knew that that's how placements were getting made. When it was just like, yo, you can sell these to other producers. They're like, me, I don't want to do that. And it's just like, no, you can fucking send it to Southside, and he won't put your name on the record, and you won't get paid. Yeah, I'll make 1,000 of those. Fucking losers. But yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, boys. Shit, just wild. But look. Damn. I think I got an episode. I haven't watched the Wu-Tang, the Liquid Swords episode. I think I'm gonna go watch that. If you guys need Waves alternatives, how am I feeling about Studio 6.1? I like it, man. I really like the I'll show you what feature I like. I love this feature. The sync point, where I could say like, this shit is, because I do, you know, I do a lot of like bouncing to audio, and I do a lot of bouncing to audio and recording audio and shit like that, stacking up the samples and just, you know, doing stuff with effects. And sometimes you wind up with an audio file that's like this, and you want to move it around and have it like stick to the grid and shit. So you can make this sync point and put the sync point right on the grid, and now that bitch will snap. You see what I'm saying? So it's in the right spot all the time. That was huge. That was huge, and I love it because no other DAW has it. Like Studio One is at this point where, because before Studio One was just kind of doing everybody else's shit, but they were doing it better. And you know, and that was cool. They were making a better version of like all the DAWs put together. I like that. And now they're at the point where they're like, you know, now they're fucking doing their own original shit, and it's cool too. And then, you know, of course, I love the this feature, being able to darken or lighten up the colors, and you know, have the different shit. Because now you could go to something like, because this is what I do with my templates. You could go to Adobe Color. Macros are, yeah. I haven't even dug into it yet, but yeah, I gotta. But what I do is like, I'll take and where's that? So I'll take like a digital color meter, and I'll go and find a color that's I'll go and find a color that's in my background, So like this 32, 77, 87. Right. So I'll go and take this and, find a nice little, nice little scheme, something cool. Want to do these. And so this will be like, like this will be my drum tracks. This will be my aux tracks. And now you have the RGB numbers right here. So you can get the exact color inside Studio One, which is dope. Yeah, exactly, Mike. So that's kind of how I use it. Because if you look at, like, bro, nobody like, bro, nobody got a Studio One. Nobody got a Studio One with these like this is like Studio One by Ralph Lauren. You know what I mean? Come on now. You guys know my color palette is, my templates is nice, bro. Very easy on the eyes. Like I put time into that. I put time into that, so it makes sense. Make some themes and put them in the exchange. I'm so bad at sharing at the exchange, but yo, listen. I'll go watch TV. I appreciate you guys tapping in on stream. Stop by CMP Kids. Get yourself a copy of Bluff Guy's new sample pack. Check out Asha and Pupil got one together. It's 100 loops. I'm gonna cook up with that